Are you thinking about getting a really good high quality resin 3D printer? Well, join me today as we take a look at the Creality Halot-One. See you guys inside. Hello and welcome to today's video. As I said, we're unboxing the Creality Halot-One today. I am a big fan of Creality resin printers, especially the LRD002. That little guy has been a workhorse back in my shop. I rarely see failures with it, and I love working with that printer. So I'm very, very hopeful that this guy, who's supposed to have better resolution, does even better. So let's get this guy out of the box. We'll take a look at it. We'll get a print in it, and we'll see how she does on the first time out of the box. So hopefully you guys are going to enjoy that content. If you're new here, if you're curious about 3D printing at all, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you definitely see anything that we're putting out here or what we're printing for the day. Got any questions about 3D printing? Not just SLA or FDM. Any questions about 3D printing? Make sure you leave that down there in that comments down below. And if there's something you'd like to see 3D printed, I mainly stay within the science fiction realm, but I also do household stuff, different things like that. And if you're curious, leave me a comment down below. We may consider it and make a video out of it. So let's get this guy out of the box. So first off, we're going to take it off the counter here because, you know, that does us no good. Cardboard, the all-important goodie bag. So let's pop this guy open and take a look. So these are filters to pour resin back in the bottle. It's got a nice grate so you don't get the chunks back in there. The all-important user manual and warranty card. We will be using this as we go. It doesn't look like there's much different than most resin printers, but we'll keep that guy out just to be on the safe side. And of course, the almighty and required standard power cord. And then one thing I do like that Creality does that not a lot of other ones have done, if you guys see the Vox Lab and stuff like that, Creality gives you spare FET papers for the bottom of your tray. I think that's a really cool thing that they do, because these can get expensive. So we'll set that guy off to the side, and we're down into the packing foam. And now we have the jewel we came for. The printer itself, nicely taped and in a bag to keep it safe and sound. So let's get this bag open. All right, there we go. There we go. All right, let's get this guy out. All right. So we got different layers. Really nice big LCD screen. I love there's dual USB port on here. That's actually really cool. Usually you only see the standard, but this has a hookup for other external devices like a Raspberry Pi or the Creality wireless device. So that's really neat. There's nothing like peeling off the plastic off a glossy surface, is there? So that is beautiful. All right, now we slow down a little bit as we're starting to get into the juicy bits. Clean up the floor here a little bit, and that's all that's in the box. But we got to get in here, because this is where all the fun stuff happens. So, how did you guys... Okay, it's a lift up. All right. Because the build plate is actually tucked away in that same piece. All right, and this is the same exact build plate style as the LRD002. They use the 4-bolt method. So we'll loosen these and we'll set it on there and we'll tighten it once we have it down and where we want it to level. So that's really cool. All right, now let's take a look here. Gotta get the FET bay off, because we'll need to take it off to level it. So undo those 4 bolts and step away. And a little messy, not unusable. Surprised there's not a protective film I have to pull off here. But some of the styrofoam's down in there, so I'll make sure I want to clean that really good before I add resin. And we'll set that off to the side very gently. And we've got our LCD, which does have a protective film on it that we need to pull away. Alright. Alright, so we got all our bits. And actually there is a, I get my thumb on it. Oh. A protective film there too. So, all in all, a good look. I love the big LCD screen compared to other printers. That's a big screen. So this printer definitely has some step ups over prior versions and actually some of its competitors. The USB port is a huge plus. That is something I'm not used to seeing here. And we'll get this guy plugged into the side of the tool chest here. All right, so now we got it plugged in. We've got that off. So now let's give her a little bit of juice. Maybe. So, oh, there we go. Just took a minute. And it's got the new Creality action figure doing a little dance. Okay. All right. And file and settings is the new user interface. Okay. So one thing we're going to go over and do is we're going to go get the Allen wrenches. And we're going to get the right one. I'm going to try to avoid touching the bottom of the build plate. I don't want my oils from my hands to get there. So I'm keeping my hand up here on top. Oh, those are in there. And I'm going to loosen all four of these. Because we're going to go through the leveling process, which we have to do to get this guy ready to print. We want to make sure they're loose enough that this all moves, because a little movement is not going to do us any good. You don't have to take it apart, but you want to get them loose so that you can see that it's movable. That's what we want. And we're going to come back here to the center knob, screw that back a little bit, enough that that fits in place. Then we're going to get a sheet of paper, which I'll walk over here and get. So just standard piece of paper. We're going to put it between the LCD and that. We're going to go to settings. Whoops. And we're going to go to, I think it's parameter settings? Nope. Move Z and X axis, and we're going to hit auto home. And wow. That is really quiet. I'm actually amazed how quiet this is. Alright, and you see it stopped. So, first thing I'm going to do is tighten it up, because that is now where I want it. I'm not going to over tighten. I'm going to do everything I can not to move the plate while I do this. Plate is pretty snug underneath there. Okay, so I went back. The 4-screw method is right. You hit auto level. You get your paper where it fits nicely after doing the 4 bolts and that, making sure that you're level. Because they showed the UI, then not so great explanations here. So basically you loosen, leveling, and then platform fits evenly. Then you'll go back. Once that's done, you're done leveling. So at that point, we can pull our paper out. We can go to back. We can go back to auto homing, which is going to lift up our guy here. And then we can put our FET bay back in, Make sure the lines are to the back, that way you know how much resin you have in your bay. You just gotta be patient. This guy moves slow, but that's nothing wrong with that. And that's the FET bay giving a reverb on what I'm talking about here. And again, if you guys are interested in this resin printing and want to see me actually do some slicing and get some stuff going, make sure you leave that comment down below that resin is something you want to see. And we'll get this FET bay back in here, and we'll get it back in position here, and we'll get these screws back in one place here. Get that guy tightened back down. That guy is ready to go. We've got the USB drive that will have a test model on it. We'll get that guy plugged in. We can stop that. And we can go back here, and we can go back to back and go to file. And there are 2 files in here. Doesn't tell me what they are. So that looks like I'm printing some squares. None look too interesting. This other one, I'm printing a leveling tower. That doesn't look too much fun either. We figured there'd been more on there, but I'll figure out something to slice. So when you come back, I'm going to pour resin in the bay. And I'm going to get a print started of a test print. I may take one from a different printer and give this guy a shot, but I'm also going to look at the settings that are in the software on the drive here, hopefully, and put those in the Shinto box so I have a match set. So I'll catch you guys on the print side. Alright guys, the first print is finished. Now I've got my gloves on, I got my glasses, so let's get this thing out and take a look and see how we did for our first print. You always want to make sure you got good protection on there. Ooh, this actually looks really nice. There's excess coming off of it, which is fine, but I'm going to get it up here. You can see all the wording it printed out on this calibration stick. This is beautiful for a first print. So this came out really well. I'm excited. I'm going to get that popped off and send it back to the cleaning station, and we will get that one cleaned up, guys. So for the first run of the Halot, test prints went great. So I'm going to get my Shinto box profile set up, and I'm going to start using this thing for production. I thank you guys for joining. If you're new here and you enjoyed this video and seeing this content, want to see more with 3D printing, hit that subscribe button, join the team as we work through getting going with resin and continuing on with those wonderful FDM prints. I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a comment down below with any questions. We'll see you in the next video.